Hi, welcome back and welcome to another reading. Happy belated birthday. I know that you didn't get a video in September and I apologize for that. I am really glad to be back here and doing another reading for you. Thank you. Thank you. Something about Tanks. I don't know, you could be listening to Tank. It's a pretty good R&B vocalist. Also, someone is singing outside. I don't know if you could hear that, but there's or maybe you're wearing a tank top or shopping for tank tops or or making TikToks, whatever. There's a lot of, Freudian slips that are happening right now. Maybe that's what I'll call this video. But this is the general reading for October for those of you who have a Virgo sun, moon, or rising. And if you don't identify as a Virgo and it's the title or the thumbnail that drew you to this reading, I encourage you to stick around. There may be something here for you. If what we talk about doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to you or it doesn't seem to apply, I encourage you to maybe check out one of the last two Virgo readings that I did and give this one a watch in a couple months or so. About a month and a half to 2 months, it may make more sense then. That being said, I hope that you had a safe and enjoyable birthday and a safe and enjoyable season. One for the books. All right, let's talk about you. L is for the way you look tonight. Oh, so you could be in love or have love on the brain, or it's about your heart and about the things that you're creating in that particular space. The things that are close to your heart is what it's about, what it has been about for some of you, and about how full you feel, how fulfilled you feel, and how precious it is, and how you want to protect it, how you want to preserve it, how you want to keep it. Do you see the way this person is holding this closely, as though it's something that they've nursed from a seedling, something that they've nursed? I just want to make sure that the camera isn't gonna die. And that's a bit uncanny, right? Plants, crops require constant tending. They require, the right soil, the right amount of water, the right amount of sunlight. And if it gets, if the pH balance in the soil is off, it doesn't get enough sunlight or it doesn't get enough water, it withers and it dies. So it's about that perfect balance. It is about that perfect, it's about that recipe, right? About what it takes. And maybe you're getting a lot of insight or learning a lot about exactly what it takes to sustain something, about what it takes to maintain something, about what goes into making something successful, and about what isn't working. You're taking that whole process more, just as I say that you're taking it more seriously, the Fool card comes out. So yes, I do think that you're taking it more seriously. And for some of you, what that means is letting go of some of the control, letting go of the idea that you have in your mind about the way that things are supposed to unfold. And that doesn't mean that you're being blasé about it. It just means that you're being vulnerable in a different way. that you're allowing yourself to fall in love, that you're allowing yourself to be reachable and receptive in that way. You're allowing someone to love you, right? Check out The Greatest Love of All. I think it's by Whitney Houston. The greatest love of all is happening to me. That is beautiful. We're going to talk about all this. Oh, oops. All right, I think that's plenty. Let us talk about what's here. All right, Virgo. Again, happy belated birthday. For some of you, it may seem as though it's all a blur. So much has happened, so much is happening, and there's more that will happen still. I think that there is this process of expansion that's happening where your relationships are concerned, and it has a lot to do with your approach. It has a lot to do with how you think about yourself and about the people you love, and it's about your sense of right and wrong. There's a lot of gems in there. And those gems are, they've just been unearthed. They're raw, they're uncut. And what's happening is a process of cutting them into, a princess cut shape. It's the process of polishing it. It's the process of making it shine or reflect, right? Because gems don't shine, they reflect light. And for many of you, that light you want to reflect is the light you are receiving, the light you are encountering. And what we're talking about, what we're looking at here rather, is a departure away from a way of doing things. And this is not a read. What I'm talking about is growth and development and expansion in your relationships. And it's a beautiful thing to happen. And I think that you should be proud of that. And I think that you should own that process. And I think that you should let yourself be expanded in this way. It's scary. It can be, or it can feel like it's something that you need to learn or get used to, and things that are different, change is it can oftentimes be scary, but at the same time it can oftentimes be exactly what you need, what you've been hoping for and searching for, and what you need. So I encourage you to let yourself have it. I encourage you to let go of that disappointment that you've grown to expect. You're in your winning era. You're in this era where the things that you were once deprived of, denied of, made to feel as though you weren't worthy of. They're all in front of you and all being offered to you. And for some of you, it's like you don't, it's not that you don't recognize it, but it's just maybe you just don't expect it. You know that you deserve it. You know that you're worth it. And it's just about allowing yourself to have it and allowing yourself to be loved in that way, allowing yourself to be appreciated. And don't sweat don't worry about not knowing what the right thing to say is. I think that if you allow yourself to be authentic, if you allow yourself to feel, if you give yourself what you need, whether that's maybe that's solitude for some of you at certain times, maybe that's closeness and really being brave enough to ask for that. Is if you feel as though you aren't getting it, it'll absolutely help. You have to be selfish enough to want to feel good. There's a man. Okay, so I don't know this, right? But what I'm saying is there could be a Cancer or could be a Pisces, doesn't necessarily have to be, but someone who you maybe have a history of codependency with, who may have something to say or have some things they want to get off their chest. And it's, this person is struggling to find the right words, but for you, it's clear as day. For you, it isn't, it's not something that's up for debate. It's not something that's unclear, and it's not something that's as complex as they are making it out to be. And I think that as long as you stay in that space, and you don't have to be a bitch, right? You don't have to be rude. Just stand firm in who you are and stand firm in what you want, and recognize when things that you have sworn not to allow yourself to fall back into are trying to make their way back into your life, and it's not something that's really a part of who you are today. It's something that is you've outgrown. You've already worked so hard to want different. You've already worked to have different. And yes, growth and expansion is possible in people. I don't know that it's possible for them to really change, but I do think it's possible for them to become more self-aware, more disciplined, and want to do the work. So yes, it's possible that, people approaching you are sincere. But you don't owe them anything. You don't owe them this old version of yourself. You don't, they have romanticized this idea of you, and they have this idea of you in their mind that they are in some ways attached to, but it's like you're a different, maybe not a different person now, but it's just you're not in that same space anymore. You don't have to be. And for many of you, I think that you don't want to be. And that's okay. You don't want to ruin what you have. You don't want to ruin what you've built and anything that's going to jeopardize that. It's too risky. It's too much. And I think that it's equally important for you to, watch your behavior and watch how you're responding, and really examine your actions and what you're putting out there, how you are coming off. Just because you don't want to lead someone on and you don't want to mislead them. And just be really responsible in that way. Don't entertain anything that you know that at the end of the day is not going to be good for you or not conducive to the life you're trying to build, is what I'm trying to say. That's what I have for you for October. Thank you to those of you who have donated. The kind words that you've written have honestly added a lot of meaning to this for me. And it's had meaning for me, of course, and one of the reasons why I've been making these videos for as long as I have. But it's just different when someone expresses to you what the work means to them, and you may not have known when you were reading it, or when you were writing it to the person I'm speaking to who sent me that message and donated, but I read it at the right time. And I read it during a time when I was really considering, do I want to keep doing this? Because it's a bit discouraging and a bit demoralizing when a video gets released and it doesn't get a whole lot of visibility. You kind of just think that, it's not really being seen or not really being appreciated. And I was so surprised. So if you're out there and you're watching this, and I just want you to know, I'm really appreciative, and I'm sorry that you didn't get a video during your birthday season, but I have every bit of confidence that if you've been listening to what we've been talking about for the last year, that it was a good one. And it happened that way. It was a good one because that's what you deserved. Let yourself be loved. Till next time.